Hello, I'm Dr. Abhishek Sharma. In this video, I will discuss the noise behavior in frequency modulated systems. So let us start noise in FM. The figure represents the frequency modulation block diagram. You can clearly see that this is the transmitter side of frequency modulated system. This is the channel. I have assumed that the power spectral density of this AWGN noise is eta by 2. Now this is the limiter, and from this point to this point at the end, this is the frequency modulator receiver. Now, as FM detector comprise a frequency discriminator followed by the envelope detector, this is the frequency discriminator followed by the envelope detector. This is frequency discriminator. Basically, it also acts as a differentiator. The input of the FM detector is maintained constant by the limiter. So this is very important because the amplitude limiter limits the input. Basically, the noise when transmitted, the envelope is just constant for the FM because its value is always AC. As you know that AC cos of omega ct plus kf, which is the frequency sensitivity integral minus infinity to t m tau d tau, is the generalized expression for frequency modulated signal with the message signal mt. Right now, please note that AC is a constant term, so that's why I'm saying this amplitude limiter is required, because if let us suppose that noise changes this value of AC, and let us suppose that because of the noise this amplitude of the constant value, let us suppose, changes with respect to time, then its differentiation will definitely introduce noise at the output. That means we have to limit the AC with a fixed value. So that's why amplitude limiter is the first circuit, and after that this output of this amplitude limiter will pass through high pass filter. The input of the FM detector is maintained constant by a limiter. The output of the receiver is the baseband signal FT. Point to note, output of the receiver is the baseband signal FT. Let us evaluate the input and output signal powers SI and S0, which is the SI. Basically, I am dealing with this point at this SI, and let us suppose this is S0. Here it is NI because this is the band pass noise, and this is your N0. Right? So the signal power, as you know that I have already mentioned that frequency modulated signal will be equal to AC cos of omega ct plus k of f integral minus infinity to t m tau and d tau. Sometimes this kf is also replaced by 2 pi kf, but right now I am assuming that kf is just a frequency sensitivity. Kf is just the frequency sensitivity. I'm not just taking the dimension of the kf. So as you know that every carrier have, let us suppose, the amplitude of AC, then its power will be given by AC square by 2. Either that carrier is having cosine component or sine component. So the FM signal power is same as power of the unmodulated carrier, which is given by AC square by 2. As I have also mentioned here that phi of FMT is equal to AC cos omega ct and so on. So the output power of the signal and noise can be calculated now independently. To calculate the signal behavior and noise behavior, I will just, when I will calculate the noise, I will assume that signal is absent, and when I calculate the signal power, I will assume that the noise will be absent. And after that, I will add all these power contained to obtain the actual expression for the desired one. Now note that the output S0T of the detector is proportional to the instantaneous frequency omega I of the FM signal applied to its input. Definitely, when a high pass filter, or you can say the differentiator acts, then what will happen? It will actually, let us suppose that your phi of this one is cos of omega ct, then plus kf, let us suppose, integral minus infinity to t m of tau and d tau. Now what will happen when you differentiate this expression? Let us suppose this is phi of fmt. Basically, differentiator is just acting as a high pass filter is just acting as a differentiator. So you will get the differentiation of this expression, above expression, that means d of d by dt, or phi of fmt now, and its value will be given by, now its value will be AC. When you differentiate this expression, I will get omega c plus kf mt, right? And cosine will become now sine, and omega ct plus, no, and so on, right? Now when this signal passes through envelope detector, then envelope detector will actually uh, pass the output, which is the peak value of the sine wave, which is this one, the amplitude, which is just changing with respect to the message. So envelope detector, or you already know that envelope detector consists of a half wave rectifier including a diode. So when you pass the signal with the diode, it will only pass the positive cycle of the signal, and after that the signal will pass through an LPF where we can extract the message signal. So as I already said, that S0 t, which is the detector output, this is S0 t, let us suppose, is proportional to the instantaneous frequency omega I. So this term from omega c plus kf mt is your instantaneous frequency, right? So S0 t is as it is proportional to omega I, which is instantaneous frequency. That means I can write it as I can equate actually S0 t with respect to omega I. I am just introducing a k, which is a proportionality constant. Now the angular frequency, because as I've already told you, this is omega c plus kf mt, this is omega I. Hence the S0 t will become k omega c plus k into kf f of t, where actually this is my message m of t. So this will be S0 t k of omega c plus k into kf into mt. So either message will be represented by mt or ft, doesn't make any sense that it is a right thing or wrong, but the point is S0 t will always be equal to k omega c plus k into kf into message, right? So this is your message signal. Right now similarly omega I, as I've already mentioned here, this one, that omega I is always be equal to omega c plus kf into the message signal. Now S0 t will be equal to k omega c plus k into kf into ft. Let us suppose this is mt, or let us suppose that I will change this mt as ft now. I am just changing this. So S0 t will become k omega c plus k into kf into ft, in which the useful message signal is k into kf into ft. So this is your message content. This signal power is due to this message term, right? So actually this is a DC term, this is a pure DC term, so you can also actually block this DC with the help of capacitances. So now as you are interested in the message signal, so we can consider only this section of actually this time varying signal is just changing the properties of S0 t. So the power of S0 t will be k square plus into kf square, then this is f square t mean value. Actually this is the expansion of this term, because I have already show you that the expectation of mean square value is your power. So it is actually k into kf into f of t, its whole square, and then its expectation. So it will be again, as this k and kf is constant, so this will be, actually I will take these as common from this expression, so it will be e of f square t and so on, right? Now at this point S0 t, that means at this point, you can know at this point S0 t, I have calculated the value which is given by this one. Now I have to calculate the noise power. So the input noise power which is given by Ni is equal to twice of eta fm. I've already told you the noise is equal to, let us suppose this is in phase component of noise cos of omega ct, plus minus you can take any one of them and qt sine of omega ct, right? So from this point its power will be power, I'm just mentioning the power, which is 2 eta fm after the band pass filtration, right? So its power is this one. Now again the NIT will be same and the power of NQT will be same. So I've just take the direct expression of Ni, so that will be equal to 2 eta into Fm, which is the output noise power, will be calculated by assuming the message signal to be absent, right? So I have my input noise power. The input GIT to the detector will have a carrier term plus noise term. Now I have, as in this expression, AC cos of omega ct plus kf into integral minus infinity to t m of tau and d tau. So when in this expression you will put m of tau is equal to 0, m of t or f of t, which is message, I am just talking about the message. So when you put this term is equal to 0, so this actual expression will be AC cos omega ct plus NIT. Now I am just going to put the value of NIT in terms of in phase and quadrature phase component, so it will be like this one. Now doing some trigonometric equations which will be given by I will take the cosine term as a common term and separate the sine term. So GIT will be equal to AC plus in phase component of the noise, right, into cos of omega ct plus quadrature phase component into sine of omega ct. Now I'm applying the trigonometric identities. Now GIT may be mentioned as under root of AC plus NIT whole square plus NQ square T, right, into AC plus NIT divided by the same term AC plus NIT whole square plus NQ square T into cos of omega ct plus NQT divided by under root of AC plus NIT whole square plus NQ square T into sine of omega ct. So it may be mentioned as cos of theta minus pi, right? So that will become, this is my envelope in this for this equation, and this will be the cos of phi, and this will be the sine of phi, right? This expression. So I can write it as GIT will be equal to, let us suppose this is your envelope voltage into cos of theta minus phi, right? Theta is your omega ct and your phi is equal to tan inverse, right, divide imaginary component and real component, right? So it will be NQT divided by AC plus NI into T, NIT, right? Now as phi is also dependent on T, so I can write it as phi of T, right? Now I can write my GT, G of IT, let us suppose it will be E of T cos of omega ct minus of phi t. Now the output of the detector, as I have already said, that output of actually depends on the instantaneous frequency, right? So which is equal to omega I. So at this case the instantaneous frequency will be calculated from this expression, or which will be actually d by dt, and you can calculate the omega I as total term, that is phi of t, not phi t actually, it will be theta t. This will be theta t. Okay, then so it will be basically this expression. Let us suppose this is q, this is qt, let us suppose. So it will be qt, where q of t is equal to omega ct. Qt will be omega ct minus phi of t, which is the angle. Since the output is just differentiating the omega ct minus phi t, so we can say that that AT, I will ignore the AT term in this ET. So I will also mention here ET was under root of AC plus of NIT whole square plus NQT square, right? So AC plus NIT whole square plus NQ square T, right? Hence, as I've already told you that AC is a DC term, so I will just consider these two main expressions of NIT and NQT. So there will be two cases in this scenario. In case number one, when AC is too much greater than with in comparison to NIT and NQT. Let us suppose AC is much greater than NIT and NQT, right? This is called small noise case. Similarly, case number two will be when AC is too much less than NIT and NQT. So this will be the large noise case. Now for the small noise case, phi of t will be equal to, that was actually the angle value which I have mentioned here, this one. So phi of t will be equal to NQT divided by AC NIT, right? So it will be tan inverse NQT divided by AC plus Ni into, that is the function of T, right? So when AC is too much greater than NIT, as I've already told you that AC is too much greater than NIT, right? So I can approximate AC plus NIT as a, right, AC. So in this case, your phi t will be now, you can also change this phi t because mistakenly I have already also considered this symbol for the FM, but for FM representation I am just using phi FMT, so don't be confused. Here this is the different angle, phi t, right? So phi t will be now tan inverse NQT divided by AC. So we can also write this expression as this is very small value, so phi of t will be approximated as, for small values of these angles, NQT divided by A, right? So in this case, why I have mentioned this, because that tan inverse phi is equal to phi, right, where when phi is very small, right? So the output through discriminator will be n naught t, right? So n naught t will be d by dt, and your theta t, which is the angle, right? So your n naught t, because this is small n naught t, so n naught t will be equal to, right, it will be k d by dt as I have mentioned. So this will be omega ct minus of nqt divided by AC. So if you can say, when you differentiate this one, so it will be k d by dt will be replaced by now omega c minus of 1 upon AC, then nq dot t, right? This one is dot because it is representing d by dt, nqt is just equal to nq dot nt. Now, as this is again constant term, so I have already said that this constant will be separated through with the help of capacitances. So n naught t basically, or you can say magnitude, because this is the minus term, so it will be equal to 1 upon AC or k, and as well as nq t's derivative, right? So it will be like this. Now the power spectral density, as I've already told you, that S n naught omega, it will be equal to k square upon a square into S n q omega, right? And how I am writing this, I will just I'm just going to show you, because you know that n naught t, its spectrum will be n, let us suppose n naught omega, right? Then the magnitude of n naught t square, right, that means it is also n naught omega square. That means PSD, that is actually just representing Sn naught. So d by dt, when you differentiate this expression, right, n naught t, so what will happen when you take the Fourier transform Ct of t? So what you will get is j omega n naught omega, right? So the power spectral density for this case, as the because PSD is proportional to this expression, right? So I can also mention that from this expression, S n naught omega, as just calculating the derivative, because I am just calculating the power spectral density of this one. So nq dot t's power spectral density is S n naught dot omega. So that will be equal to the magnitude of this one, because PSD is directly proportional to this mod of n naught omega whole square. So this will be magnitude value, so mod of j omega, right, n naught omega and its square. So it will be omega square n naught omega square. So this will be so it will be omega square into S of n naught omega. Point to be noted, this is S n naught dot omega and this is S n naught omega. That's why I have mentioned this expression, because this is the property of the CTFT. So you have to apply the CTFT property for this expression, right? So you will get the noise power spectral density which is S and naught omega is equal to k square divided by a square into omega square S and Q omega, right? I'll just forget to mention omega square here. So this here it will be omega square, because this is omega square here the term, so it will be omega square. So the final value will be this one. So when as you know that when we have S and naught, that means power is equal to 1 upon 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity, and then S and naught omega d omega, right? So I can also write it as 1 upon pi integral from 0 to infinity S and naught omega and d omega. So it is clear that I can calculate the value of the power for this expression and not omega with the help of this formula, right? So in this video I have shown how to calculate the output noise power for frequency modulated wave at the end of the receiver, as well as noise power, signal power at the output, input signal power, and input noise power. So in the next video I will discuss its behavior with respect to the noise AWGN, as well as pre-emphasis and the require of de-emphasis for the frequency modulated systems. Thank you very much.